Typically, the real estate market slows down about this time of the year. Summer is over, school is in full force for the kids, then we head into Thanksgiving and Christmas season. Now, a shocking report, if you will, just came out from the National Association of Realtors. The pending home sales number jumped 7.5% in October. Here are the key highlights of the report. Contract signings increased 7.5% in October from September, a reversal of last month's decline. Compared to the prior month, contract signings increased in all regions. Compared to 1 year ago, contract signings were 1.4% lower. Compared to the previous month, contract signings rose at the strongest pace in the Midwest and in the South regions. Month over month, the Northeast increased 6.9% in October, a 10% drop from a year ago. In the Midwest, the index climbed 11.8% last month, up 5.1% from October 2020. A lot of home buyers and home sellers typically take a break and wait until spring to start their home search or put their homes on the market. Well, it seems like a lot of home buyers and home sellers did not get the memo. According to Michael Lane of ShowingTime, quote, showing activity typically slows in the fall, but as the showing index has shown, we've seen buyer demand remain strong in many markets throughout the country to reverse the seasonal trend. Last fall, we saw an unparalleled rise in buyer demand, which makes October's year-over-year gains all the more impressive. I've talked about this in this channel before. October 2020, that whole last quarter was weird because the selling season got pushed out. We were in a lockdown and a lot of the home buying and home selling activity that normally happens in the spring and the summer did not materialize. It got pushed out to the fall season when it typically slows down. So those October or fall 2020 numbers are highly inflated and unusual. That's why this October 2021 activity, and as we head into the end of the year, is really surprising considering we are comparing it to a non-normal year. Like most industries, residential real estate has a seasonality to it. For example, toy stores sell more toys in October, November, and December than they do in any other 3-month span throughout the year. More cars are sold in the US during the second quarter, April, May, and June, than any other quarter of the year. Real estate is very similar. The number of homes sold in the spring is almost always much greater than in any other time of the year. It's been labeled as the spring buying season. Historically, the number of buyers and listings for sale significantly increased in the spring and remains strong throughout the summer. Once fall sets in, the number of buyers and sellers typically drops off. Last year, however, that seasonality did not happen. The outbreak of the virus and subsequent slowing down of the economy limited sales during the spring. These sales were pushed back later in the year, and last fall and winter saw a dramatic increase in home sales over the previous years. The only thing that held the market back was the extremely limited supply of homes for sale. And it seems like we are seeing that happen again this winter. Some experts thought that we'd return to the industry's normal seasonality this winter with both the number of purchasers and houses available for sale falling off. However, data now shows that neither of those situations are likely to occur. Buyer demand remains strong according to the latest ShowingTime Index from ShowingTime, which tracks the average number of monthly showings on available homes. This indicates buyer activity was slightly lower than it was the same time last year, but much higher than any of the 3 previous years. Those were the normal years. You can see it on this graph here if we compare all those years to this year. Here's a quote from several industry sources citing this unusual amount of housing activity. Quote, new housing data shows 2021 feverish home sales pace broke a yearly record in October, with last month making the 8th straight month of buyers snatching up homes more quickly than the fastest pace in previous years, unquote. According to Ali Wolf, another industry expert, buyer activity for newly constructed homes is also very strong. Stuart Miller, the executive chairman of Lennar, one of the nation's largest home builders, says this about their demand. Quote, there is still a great deal of demand at our sales centers with people lining up and not enough supply. The question heading into this winter is whether the number of listings available could come close to meeting this buyer demand. We may just have received that answer. Sellers are about to list right now. Instead of waiting for the normal spring buying market, new research indicates that homeowners thinking about selling their home are about to put their homes on the market this winter. Speaking to the release of the report on this recent research, George Ratui, manager of economic research for Realtor.com, says this: the pandemic has delayed plans for many Americans, and homeowners looking to move on to the next stage of their life are no exception. Recent survey data suggests the majority of prospective sellers are actively preparing to enter the market this winter, unquote. Here are some highlights of that report. Of the homeowners planning to enter the market in the next year, 65% have just listed or plan to list this winter. This is good news for inventory. 93% have already taken steps toward listing their home, including working with an agent. 36% have researched the value of their home and others in their neighborhood. Another 36% have started making repairs or decluttering. The report also discusses the reasons sellers want to move. 33% have realized they want a different home feature or features. The number one thing that I have personally seen sellers look for is more space. 37% say their home no longer meets their family's needs. Whether this is downsizing or upsizing, a lot of home sellers out there simply have outgrown their current home. 32% want to move closer to friends and family. This is right after more space. People just want to be closer to their loved ones. 23% are looking for a home office. With the popularity of work from home, there has been a greater demand for homes with space for a home office. The data shows buyer demand remains unusually strong going into this winter. This could be a winter real estate market like never before, kind of like a winter wonderland. If you think about it, what we have gone through these past 2 years in the real estate industry, it's kind of hard to believe that we are still experiencing this hot and crazy market. The ShowingTime report shows lots of home buyer activity in the Midwest and in the South regions during October. They said that this is unusual for this time of the year. Take a look at the list that I have here. The two highest cities on the list, Seattle and Denver, are not exactly cheap places to move to. Seattle is a highly competitive market. Last month, home prices were up 4.3% when compared to October of last year. The median home price is almost $800,000, and get this, it only takes an average of 7 days to get a home in contract in Seattle. Denver, while cheaper than Seattle, is still an expensive area when compared to the US in general. Denver median home price is around $575,000. Denver home prices have gone up 18% this year. To me, this suggests that people are not just moving to lower cost areas, but people are just moving everywhere. So what does this all mean? If you're a home buyer, what are you waiting for? There's nothing in the data or any of the forecasts that is out there that is remotely saying that prices will come down. What is happening is that houses are getting more expensive every month, and the interest rate is increasing. Your cost is also increasing. You can also look at it this way. Not only will you be paying more, but you are actually losing out on equity if you don't buy now. For sellers, yes, it's still a great time to sell. But remember, buyers are starting to see that inventory is slightly picking up. This means that they are a little bit more choosy with the homes that they pick. If you do not prepare your house right, it could still mean staying on the market for longer periods of time, even in this hot market. So the bottom line, if you're thinking of buying or selling, now is the time to have a heart-to-heart conversation with a real estate professional in your market, as things are about to change in an unexpected way. If you want a copy of my buyer or seller's guide, click on the link below on the description below, or send me an email, call me, or text me. It's free and it's helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on my next video.